Greetings, traveler. I am Sir Nox, the teller of tales. Would you like to hear one? Well, this one is called Doomed D&D Game Explodes Because of Murderhobo Antics. Oh boy. This was my first ever D&D game, and I'm gonna get right into it because the characters don't matter much, as nobody was notable except the Murderhobo. So it all begins with me joining the Discord. There was about 8 or so players, including me, that were split into 2 groups, and one DM. DM wanted the game to be as good as Crit Roll, and probably didn't want to reject any of the applicants. And I think it was his first time as well. There were some shenanigans, like some players playing in 2 groups, so that there's enough players to function as a party. The 2 groups were separated into 2 parallel worlds that were the same except the part effectively running one game with twice the effort. Cue the Murderhobo rogue. And when I say he was a Murderhobo, I mean it literally. His character looked and acted like one. Overalls with big messy beard, wild hair with a balding top and knife in hand, who was chaotic evil and a pathological liar, making up religions and rituals, and overall being absent and unrelated to the party for most of the time, as well as being the DM's favorite. Sounds like Charles Manson. Giving him one-on-one sessions where he plays alone and apparently getting a warship? I shit you not. I am not sure if he was joking, and am glad we never progressed far enough to see. The first group was fine. Mine, the second group, open with the hobo burning a church, and the rest of the party meeting in a tavern and being completely separated from him. We didn't meet him until much later. The tavern keep wanted to hire us to find a gang of delinquents and retrieve an item of his. Then he tries to have us sign a contract. One session later, we spend the first half arguing about the contract until I convince them to sign it and move on. Now later we find the gang, dead, in a pile with someone on top of it, wearing the gang leader's face. One very short and one-sided encounter later, and it is revealed that it was the hobo who cucked us our first encounter and is arrested subsequently by the guards accompanying us. The next day, the guard captain visits us to talk about politics and how we could be hired. We go outside and it's the frickin' hobo again, who somehow escaped from prison after a 1-to-1 session. Tensions escalate fast, but I smooth things over hoping that the guy can actually play with the party for once. Saying I will keep watch over him, thus the group goes on a walk with the captain, with the hobo trailing behind, and me trailing behind further. The captain tries to hand one of us the bounty money, but the hobo steals the pouch and runs away. Another encounter later, ending with me blasting an ally with my breath weapon and one-shotting him. He gets pissed and says we metagamed because someone found him hiding on his turn, and he didn't communicate it, and I used OOC knowledge to blast him. An argument ensues between 2 players, and the DM ended up ghosting us. The fact that there were 2 groups should have told me this was doomed from the start, but I didn't note anything because it was my first time playing and I was very excited to play. That sounds like an absolute nightmare. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but hey, that's a fun first experience, don't you think? Our next tale is called Player Metagames Claims It's Not Cheating, Rage Quits. Hashtag spoilers. In 2020, I ran Time of Frost Maiden, which I'm assuming there'll be spoilers for, so if you don't want to hear that, skip ahead to the next story. Which would also be my last time GMing, ever granting me a huge sense of paranoia. My game was incredibly popular because the listing on Roll20 was all paid GMs a week before release, whereas I was the only free listing. I had over 140 applicants due to everyone being home for COVID lockdown, and assorted through 200 DMs, until what I believed were to be perfect applicants. Drin, a half-elf drow, friends with problem player revealed to be metagaming too. Bastion, wolf tribesman barbarian, friend of mine who was 6 years of GMing experience. Zynath, satire druid, nice girl, Melvin, a gnome, and then Asamar, problem player, Koslin, ASMR Eldritch Knight, who was also revealed to be metagaming in private voice chat after sessions with Melvin. To start from the beginning, I had styled it to recite the Icewind Dale poem of the Frost Maiden as a prelude, just as a charming way of opening before introductions, to which Melvin mysteriously replied, obviously fully knowing what the poem actually does. You do know you have the Icewind Dale poem on the screen, right? After the first session, I asked Melvin what he meant by that, and asking if he had played rhyme before or have been reading ahead. Drim, whom I had no idea was friends with Melvin, stepped in and said to defend him.
Oh, no! He just meant that he thought the document was important.
Right. For a bit more context, I specifically said before the first session I want you to play a character you're passionate about, rather than what you feel the party needs, and grant yourself a purpose to permanently glue yourself to the party. Lo and behold, after session 3, Melvin asks to switch to a female Aasimar paladin from Gnome Rogue. To which I ask why. He goes into a rant about how his character feels like he would abandon the party and that he's bored of playing a rogue, and then asked to occasionally switch between the two. I had, of course, said no to him switching and reminded him it was his responsibility to play a character he loved rather than this, but did grant his switch to Paladin. The most obnoxious, loud female Paladin, who made a point to speak over those she disagreed with, who then asked to start a love story with Drin. 3 people, Xyanth, Coslin, and Bastion, had messaged me saying how uncomfortable they were with Melvin directing the plot. However, he wanted as well as Melvin attempting to tell Xyanth how to perform her turn. Heal Drin! Don't use your short bow, use your cantrips! Don't you have Moonbeam? Of course, as a part of his character. Things finally hit ahead when we entered a kobold-filled cave. I had felt unarmed kobolds were too weak for a level 4 party and decided to place 2 animated armors in a part of the mine. When the party encountered them, Melvin finally dropped his facade and revealed to everyone, GM, those aren't supposed to be here. Everyone grew quiet before I promptly kicked Melvin out of the Discord, out of the Roll20 game, and out of my hair before Drin decided to join him. Coslin, feeling guilty, revealed that after the second session, Melvin invited Drin and Coslin to a Discord call where they read through the entire module together and made plans as to what to face together as a group. Melvin then messages Bastion, my friend, saying he had fun playing with him and he felt that he wasn't cheating because he was only reviewing what they've been through so far. A line Coslin quickly told me about, to which I exposed him with screenshots in their group DM before he blocked Coslin and faded into obscurity again. I don't know why people feel the need to cheat, even ever so obviously. All in all, I lost my passion for about a year after that before continuing as a player, forever paranoid. But I'm hopeful of my future in tabletop. I mean, the metagaming thing is annoying, but if you're playing a pre-made, it's kind of hard to expect people not to either look forward or maybe they've played it before and they understand what's happening. So it's nice to have your own custom campaign or to add or alter the pre-mades. But if you're going by the book and someone plans around it, it is a game, and a game is obviously supposed to be fun, but there is a sense of wanting to win as well. So I don't know if I hold it against someone for looking into a pre-made, because as a DM, you're supposed to modify it. But then if they say, hey, that's not supposed to happen, you say, yeah, that's why I did it. Adapt. Have fun. Play the game. Our next tale is called DM Doesn't Know What a Creature Type Is. Oh, he must be new. I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. There's me and the DM. I was asked to join a 5th edition D&D campaign in the Warhammer fantasy world. I begrudgingly agreed because I'm a perma-GM and wanted to just play in a game. Start of the session in a tavern. Skaven attack, blah blah blah. Third encounter into the session and there are 20 Skaven and a rat ogre. These Skaven are hit on a 6. When previously they were not. Inconsistent armor rulings indicating a -4 dex score on slinky rat people. Okay, I let that go. Doesn't sound like you did. After the first sessions, I asked in the Discord, what creature type are Skaven? Are they humanoid? I'm playing a ranger, so creature type is important for my abilities. He sends a photo of a Skaven with the caption, does this look humanoid to you? I respond, Warforged are humanoids, not constructs, so are lizard folk. That doesn't answer my question, does that look humanoid to you? My initial question remains unanswered. No, it does not. There you go. Facetious, my question remains unanswered. My dude, it's a giant rat. Lizard folk are giant lizards. And they are not humanoids, they are lizards. Lizard folk, raw, are humanoid. Sends a photo of lizard folk and dinosaurs from Warhammer Fantasy. Do these guys look human to you? Do you know what humanoid means? I am very aware, he is not. Do you understand why I'm asking the question? Bro, you answered your own question. Wrong. He then tags me on the reply where I say, no, they do not. you'll notice that no, they do not is not an appropriate response to are they humanoid. Now, shut. You're being hypocritical. Do you not see this? I am asking for rules, reasons. What creature types Skaven are, because creature types can be wacky, i.e. lizard folk, warforged, genasi, etc. You're ignoring my questions and claiming I am ignoring yours. I feel like you're being childish and antagonistic for no reason, and I just want to understand why. He never ended up responding to conclude the discussion, leaving my question open to interpretation. Yikes, there's an edit update, okay? It's been about a week since I asked the question. Other people in the party have tried to clarify further with him, but still no response. Well, it sounds like you're still playing the game. I don't know, I think it's hard when you're a DM, because you obviously have so much more knowledge than just a normal player usually. However, it sounds like you asked a reasonable question and they were the ones that were being weird. So I feel like holding people to a standard that you're at might not be fair, but the way they handled it I don't think was right either. So it sounds like I think you're in the right on this one, but hopefully that gets answered and you can move forward with your strategy. Good luck on that one.